Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Cambridge O-Level Islamia 2058 series. I am Zain Ahmed and today we will be discussing the syllabus for O-Level Islamiyat. This series is especially designed for the student appearing in 2026 and 2027, and we are going to cover every topic, every paper and every skill right here on YouTube with clear exam focused lectures that will not only save your time but also boost your grades. In this series, I'll guide you through the complete syllabus overview, the paper pattern for 2026 onwards, the assessment objectives for Islamiyat, the level marking, and the most importantly, the answer to the most famous question, which I am getting a lot of time from the students. Does the guest papers really work in Islamiyat? And all the new changes you must know before getting started preparing for Islamiyat. Plus, we will also look at the endorsed book and how to use them efficiently. Okay. Now, first of all, I wanted to be real for a second. When a lot of students hear about the all of Islamiyat, a lot of them get nervous. They look at the sizes of the books, the long syllabus, and they intensely feel overwhelmed. But here's the truth, we all know that the O level stands for the ordinary level. It is meant to be simple and understandable. It's not some impossible mountain to climb. In fact, the Islamiyat became easy once you started putting a consistent effort. It's not about memorizing thick books, but it is all about understanding the Islamic facts and beliefs. And being a Muslim, we must be proud that we have a chance to learn about our religion in more depth. And once you get hang of it, believe me, the syllabus will flow naturally. Okay. And the syllabus I'm discussing today is officially provided by the Cambridge and it applies to the students appearing in 2026 and 2027. And you can download the syllabus directly from their official website by searching for the Cambridge O Level Islamia 2058 syllabus for 2026 and 2027. Or I've made it easier for you with the downloadable link for this syllabus is in the description of this video. Okay. And now some of the basics to remember is that you can appear for this exam in May, June, and October, November sessions. If you are a very beginner, the October, November sessions are for private candidates, means you have nothing to do with the schools. All you need is to go for the British Council website and register your exam and such things. Means you have, the point is, you have nothing to do with the school. And the May June say entries are primarily for the school candidates. Okay. And also, if you're preparing for October November 2025 exams, you don't need to worry. A lot of the information from this video will still be applied because the syllabus has no major changes. So don't stress out, just stay consistent and follow this series. And let's break down Islamiyat into not only something easier to learn, but also enjoyable. Okay. And another important thing is that the O-Level Islamia 2058 lies in the zone number three. The Pakistan basically has the zone number three. And if you are a very big there, the Cambridge International has made some zones around the globe and to make the examination process easier. So the Pakistan lies in the zone, almost zone four and three. So the question is, why do we need to care about these zones? Basically, the answer is these zones help us out in many places. Like if you're looking for some date sheets or some endorsed books, you must know your zone to in order to get accurate results, which you wanted. Okay, and it is also helpful in searching a lot of stuff. Another important thing is that the syllabus for 2026 and 2027 is basically, you can say that it is entirely from the version that was published in September 2023. What actually it means that there are no significant changes to the syllabus. So means that the 2023 syllabus, their endorsed books can still be followed. Okay. So this is some of the basics. Now we are moving on to the paper pattern or the syllabus overview for our syllabus. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, first of all, if you are going to sit for the O-level Islamiyat examination, um, you will be allotted, your final grade will be in the range from the grades of A star to E, depending on your performance across the examinations. Okay, yeah, basically जब आप ओ लेवल इस्लामियत का एग्जाम देते हैं तो आपके दो एग्जाम्स होते हैं, उन दो एग्जाम्स के जो आपके ग्रेड होते हैं वो ए स्टार से ई ग्रेड तक होते हैं. ओके, एंड ए स्टार से ई ग्रेड के बीच में आपको कोई भी ग्रेड अलॉट किया जाएगा डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर परफॉर्मेंस इन पेपर वन एंड पेपर टू. एंड नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स ये सोचते हैं कि पेपर वन ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, पेपर टू कम इंपॉर्टेंट है. बिल्कुल भी ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, because paper 1 is 50 mark and paper 2 is also 50 mark. They both have the equal number of questions, equal duration and equal marks, so you need to prepare equally hard for both of these papers. And because your marks is an average from these two papers, जो आपके final marks होंगे वो इनका average होगा इन दो papers के. सो तो वो आपका जो इन दोनों का कंबाइंड मार्क्स होंगे उस पे आपको ग्रेड अलॉट किया जाएगा. वैसे तो कंपोनेंट एक सिंगल कंपोनेंट का ग्रेड होता है और इन दोनों कंपोनेंट्स के ग्रेड मिल के आपका फाइनल ग्रेड बनाएंगे. ओके, तो आई हैव कंप्लीट वीडियो ऑन इट, तो आप उसको भी विजिट कर सकते हो कि बेसिकली आपका ग्रेड किस तरह फॉर्म होता है. Okay, so let's get started. Basically, now we are starting from paper one. The paper one, the duration is 1 hour and 30 minutes, and the total mark for the exam is 50. So in paper one, we have 5 questions. Okay, the candidate have to answer 5 questions, and in which we have the question number one and question number two is the compulsory. You have to do it in any ways, and the remaining 3 questions are basically the Cambridge consider them as 2 questions, the question number 3 and 4, but there is sometimes the question number 5. So you have to keep in mind that Cambridge can give you question number 5, but there is totally a different criteria for question number 5, which we will be discussing later. For now, you have the question number 1 and question number 2, which is compulsory, and the remaining 3 questions are optional. Question number 3, 4, and 5 are optional, and you have to do 2 questions from question number 3, 4, and 5. It's totally up to you. बेसिकली क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 और 2 कंपलसरी होते हैं और जो बाकी 3 क्वेश्चंस हैं वो आपके पास ऑप्शनल है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, 4, and 5, उन उन 3 क्वेश्चंस में से आप कोई से भी 2 कर सकते हो. इट्स टोटली अप टू यू. ओके, so let's discuss some of the short syllabus outlines for these. Okay, the question number 1 is always from the major themes from Quran. There are 3 passages. You will be given 3 passages, and you have choice. You have to do only 2 passages. Okay, and the total mark for question number 1 is 8. And basically, the major theme of Quran means कुरान पाक में से कुछ सिलेक्टेड उनकी आयात होंगी जो आपको पेपर में दी जाएंगी विद देयर इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन. और उस पे 2 तरह के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, एक होता है ए पार्ट और एक होता है बी पार्ट. द ए पार्ट इज इंटायरली आपने उसका थीम डिस्क्राइब करना होता है, और जो बी पार्ट होता है आपने कि उसकी टीचिंग को, उस कुरानिक पैसेज की टीचिंग को हम अपनी डेली लाइफ में किस तरह इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं, आपने वो वेज बताने. बट यू डोंट नीड टू वरी अबाउट इट नाउ, बिकॉज we will be creating a detailed video about how to solve these Quranic passages, and we will be dealing with every single passage, and we will be also discussing about Quranic passages and their syllabus later in this series. Okay, and the second question is always from the history and importance of Quran, and this question is all about the Quran, how the Quran was preserved, how the Quran was revealed, how the Quran was collected, how the Quran was formed a book form, and such things, and in which duration Quran was collected. And the question number 2 is always from the Quran, and it is also a compulsory question with 14 marks. So basically question number 2 is divided into 2 parts, A part and B part. B part is always 4 mark, and A part is always 10 marks. Okay, and then we come on the question number 3. On the question number 3 is not always from the life and importance of Prophet Muhammad. The question number 3 and 4 are can be switched. Okay, so question number 3 is from the life and importance of Prophet Muhammad. This means that in our syllabus for the life and importance of Prophet Muhammad, we have 3 chapters. In these chapters, we will be looking at the life in Medina, life in Makkah, from Prophet birth to Prophet death, and a Prophet as a excellent character and Prophet qualities, and such questions will become in the criteria of three. Now, the important thing is that the one or two questions are set usually in more than one part. This is the most important thing to be learned in the paper pattern. दैट ये चीज है कि वो कह रहे हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर थ्री के अंदर ही फर्दर दो पार्ट्स बनाए जा सकते हैं यानी जो बेसिकली आई वाज प्रीवियसली आस्क आई वाज सेइंग अबाउट द क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 is basically born in this way that in question number 3 or 4 there is an option that two questions could come in part 3 or part 4, okay, and that makes the question number 5. So basically you don't need to worry about it. Basically there are 5 questions, there could be 4 questions or 5 questions in the paper depending on the examiner will. And when it is a 5 question, it is basically a extended part of question number 3 or question number 4, okay. And most of the time examiner is giving you a 5 questions because obviously you have a choice, so that is why, okay. And the question number 4 is from First Islamic Community. First Islamic Community is all about the Prophet's daughters, Prophet's descendants, Prophet's companion, the 10 blessed companions, Prophet's uncles, Prophet's enemies, and such type of noble Islamic communities came in the question number 4. And again, the question number 4 can be extended to form question number 5. Means there is no limit in question number 3, 4, and 5. They can give you anything from the syllabus, but all the things are from the syllabus. It doesn't matter how they are arranged, you have to prepare all of them so that you can score a great marks in examinations, okay. This is all about the paper 1. So now let's move on to paper 2. Paper 2 is exactly 1.5 hours, same as the paper 1, and the marks is also 50, and there will be 5 questions same. The paper question number 1 and question number 2 will be compulsory, and the remaining 3 questions will be optional. You have to do 2 questions from the remaining 3, okay. For question number 1, there are the major teaching and ahadith of the Prophet. Means there are certain almost 20 ahadith in your syllabus, and they can give you any ahadith in any four. Basically, there are 4 hadiths in each paper, and you have to select any two and explain those, okay. Basically आपके syllabus में 20 ahadith हैं, और वो आप 20 ahadith को prepare करते हो, उनमें से आपको कोई सी भी 4 ahadith आ सकते हैं, and you have to choose 2, और आपने उसका theme explain करना है और उसकी implement, और ये total question number 1 आपका 8 mark का होता है, और this is compulsory. There is no choice in question number 1 and 2, okay. Now we move on to question number 2. It is again about the history and importance of ahadith. Like in paper 1, the question number 2 was about history and importance of Quran. In paper 2, the question number 2 is about the history and importance of hadith. Okay, so this is all about the how hadith was preserved, how hadith was collected, what are the types of ahadith, what are the forms of ahadith, how was the structure of hadiths were formed, like sanad and matan, and these all things are included in question number 2. And the question number 3 is the period of the rule of the rightly guided Khalifas and their importance. Basically, the question number 3 is all about the 4 rightly guided Khalifas: Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Ali, and Hazrat Usman. Basically, the question number 3 could be from the Khilafat, or their battles, or their characters, or their administrative qualities, such. And all, you don't need to worry about anything because all of these things will be covered throughout the journey and you will be prepared. And in O levels, remember the fact that in O levels, nothing is out of syllabus. All of the stuff is from the syllabus which you will be preparing, and then examiner is going to ask you about that, okay. The question number 4 is about the articles of faith and pillars of Islam. Basically, the question number 4 is entirely about the articles of faith and pillars of Islam. And again, the question number 3 and 4 can be extended to form question number 5. Okay. So if and remember the fact, if the question number 3 or 4 is extended to form question number 5, the question number 5 is always must be always about the content of question number 3 and 4. What I am saying is that कि अगर question number 3 और 4 extend होते हैं तो question number 3 का content के अंदर rightly guided खलीफा है, तो मतलब question number 5 में possibility है कि वो दोबारा एक और question rightly guided खलीफा पे ही दे दें। या अगर 4 extend होता है तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि हमारे पास जो पिलर्स ऑफ इस्लाम है और आर्टिकल्स ऑफ फेथ है इन्हीं पे एक और क्वेश्चन आ जाए। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि जिस तरह जो कंपलसरी क्वेश्चन है कि अहादीस पे वो आपको क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 पे आ जाए, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होना। ओके, so you don't need to be confused, and the total mark for the examination including paper 1 and paper 2 is 100. Okay, that is it for today, and if you